Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 2 of NiP versus ASUS.Polar. Ready to rock and roll. I'm Zyori, joined once again by Kotlguy. Dakota, how's it going, man?
It's going pretty good. Everything sounds pretty good. I'm happy about that. I'm ready to rock and roll with you, buddy. And here we go. Game number 2. Game number 1 went out of control pretty damn fast in favor of NiP. Both teams had a bit of an interesting draft to finish things out. We saw the debut of the Polar Illidan Clinks for the first time in 6v3. Could be the last time as well. So we'll have to see if that's the case or not.
Safe to say it was not the best showing we've seen from Illidan. The TI3 Illidan was back, as someone messaged me during that game. Was just not so hot. He kept running into the jungle, wanted to gank that Chen. It's a noble effort to go in, try and dark pack some of those creeps, you know? And it just backfired. Time and time again, they had dust ready and waiting, and he bit the bullet. So looking at these...
Don't mean to interrupt. It's like, I felt like, you know, he did the best he could with what he was dealt. Obviously, with that early kill mid lane, because they had the early dust, he was starting to kind of falter a bit. And maybe in pub play, you can get the easy side picks on a jungling hero like Chen, but in the games like this with these professional players, and the game sense they got, they just quickly, you know, analyze the situation and turn it right back over 180. And poor Illidan just never could really amount to it. But now he's got his comfortable hero, Zyori. Now he's ready.
Oh, yeah. This is a classic opening from ASUS.Polar. The Dazzle Slark, they love it. Like you said, this is Illidan's bread and butter. He does like to play it a similar style, though. I'd be surprised if he does something different from his Midas Shadowblade. I think he's done it like the past 4 games in a row that I've seen. NiP, they take Vengeful Spirit Batrider, protect themselves from one of the counter picks to break the lasso, and they've got one damn strong offlaner. We've seen him a lot in the East, and here we go. Still getting some early love in the West.
Definitely best if you're planning on getting a hold of a Batrider. You also get the special 2-for-1 package right there and get your Vengeful Spirit as well. So you get a bit of your own minus armor synergy right there, especially being on Dire side to work with the Roche. They're in full control, so they might look to build onto that. Polar felt the same, hence the ban, getting rid of someone like Lycan. So with that, they could look to possibly some of the next best options there. Not too sure what could it be. They could also get like a nice support to round things out. They could get the Skywrath Mage and bounce it with the Batrider, but it looks like it's going to be the AA, who does work very well against Slark. That pesky region that Slark likes to work with could be instantly nerfed right there with your Ice Blast. But ho ho ho! A Kunkka going to be picked up for Polar here. Okay.
The Admiral.
Typically going to be the mid lane, but you know, support has happened before. Who knows?
Yeah, usually the support Kunkka is paired with some kind of a sure stun or a setup. The Shadow Demon Kunkka is a classic that comes to mind. Dazzle not really going to be providing that, so I would imagine this is your DK Phobos hero, like you said, slated for the mid lane. Now I'm curious what they have in mind here. Why the Kunkka? Maybe it'll all come to light soon. Not a lot of obvious synergy with the Dazzle, as it's cleave damage he puts on the AoE, so armor not quite so helpful.
Maybe Insta X will bring back the Batrider from getting away. It's a fun little niche counter pick, but I agree with you. It seems a bit out of the loop for a 3rd pick in your draft. Grabbing it here and in a game where it's match point. They lose this one, they're done. You know, so they better have confidence in what they're doing here. And grabbing a Kunkka like this leads me to believe that maybe they have something up their sleeves. Night Stalker, the second grab. Who's playing mid lane here? We might even see the support Kunkka.
It's true, or even a support Night Stalker for that matter.
That's true.
It's most likely Mag in the off lane on this NS, but Hellraisers is the team that comes to mind. We saw them running the 4-position Night Stalker, and we saw someone else do it as well. It can be pretty potent. 4 minutes rolls around, and hey, all of a sudden you've got a support that's fast and hits quite hard for that stage of the game. Also able to dive towers, so it could look for something very aggressive with an aggro try. I don't know. ASUS.Polar have something in mind, though, and I think at the very least it's going to be early aggression. Some very tanky heroes, and Dazzle a pretty good support to back up these guys that may be looking to dive some towers.
Currently got 14 matches in this patch. It looks like with Night Stalker sporting a very sexy 11-3 record, so not too shabby. It is, however, a lot of melee on their team. There's their 3 potential cores. They're all melee. So Ninjas in Pajamas could look to bounce about that in a way where they could kite. This leads me to believe something that Polar have planned out from the get-go, banning out the likes of an Axe and a Viper. This might have been something they pre-formulated as far as draft goes. This is, of course, all pub theories in my mind of my scrub tech, you know, knowledge base, but it just seems like based on the bans they got or they went into with this, it's more like this is something that they've been plotting here. So I'm curious to see it really come into fruition.
Yeah, samesies. Now, what do NiP look for their 5th pick? They could... There's a couple of heroes that would really be great here. Magnus and Timbersaw both come to mind to cut through all that strength, you know, capitalize on the fact that their cores are melee, as you were talking about, but I think they want more of a hard carry for Era here, and I don't know who that is. Maybe it's the Medusa. With the Bat Rider, you can kind of keep her safe. You've got Venge for defensive swaps. Even Puck, a great space creator to counter-initiate if your Dusa gets jumped on.
They'll definitely need something to bring out the late game. Something to bring out the late game if they're going to put all their eggs in this basket. Someone who could also help get Roche in a reasonable time because it's something they can go for. Maybe in someone who could benefit a bit from AA's early chilling touch. Weaver, something that bounces out to me that could be hard to get a hold of, but you're going against a fair amount of silence and lockdown with Kunkka there. So maybe not the best grab.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. This is going to be a bit interesting. Something that could fight well and at least be the Muhammad Ali of all these melee heroes and kind of juke and jive a bit.
Maybe a Morphling. That can be pretty elusive, a bit of split pushing. No, they go the more manly, the tough, the PA, Phantom Assassin. She's strong and she's ready to get some big numbers on these tanky mothers that ASUS.Polar have picked up.
It could be good against the melee. I mean, you're going to need some sort of way to hit her through that blur at some point. And none of these heroes are primarily MKB candidates. Slark's probably your best option, of course, but that's usually an item or two down the road. So at that point, PA could be able to unleash a lot. Plus, you have to back up on top of that chilling touch. You got the lockdown from Puck, the lockdown Bat Rider. And just in case things get a bit too hairy and your PA just goes a little too balls to the wall, you got Vengeful Spirit right there to help out. So I'm liking the game plan here for NiP. ASUS.Polar, it continues to get more and more intriguing, just like we saw in game number 1. I'm percolated right now with the idea of what this 5th pick could be, because we could also see potentially what role this Kunkka and Night Stalker are going to have in the game. Yeah, definitely. Now, for NiP, I think a lot of this game will come down to the Bat Rider. I think Jonas needs to have a decent time in lane, have a well-timed blink, and control some tempos. Same with the Puck. If they can make some space for Era on that PA, he gets the snowball rolling. We'll see if he goes for a Battle Fury or what kind of a trajectory he looks at. Maybe just Phase Drum Aquila style for some early aggression. If Illidan wants to go for the Hand of Midas, they've got some options, but I think they need to secure farm for their Blink Daggers. And here you go. Veno picked up by Phobos, so it will be a support Kunkka. Wow, good call, Dakota. You are on top of that one. I'm really surprised here. There is a stunning lack of setup for this Kunkka. Veno, Night Stalker, Slark. I guess the Pounce does count as some ability to kind of lock him in place and set up for the Torrent, but, you know, no Venge, no Sven, nobody that makes it really easy for one Kunkka. So FNG, he's certainly going to have his work cut out for him this go-around. I mean, I'm trying to think back. The last time we saw a standout support Kunkka, the last time I saw a Kunkka support somewhat effectively was when Tinker was really popular and he just kept going in, being recalled back to base. I believe it was even from Team Tinker. I know it was EGM who played the Kunkka, and eventually he was just on fountain duty, and just all he would do was X the Tinker, let him go out, do stuff, bring him back, for a free expense of not having to rearm for the boots of travel to come back home. So it'd be a free bit of harassment constantly, at least 2 different times to be able to jump opponent and quickly take them down. But that was just a funky grab. Other than that, I know Chuan has played it time and time again. It's just been so long. And for a game that's pretty important here, they lose this one, they're done. They better have put in a serious amount of scrim preparation with this Kunkka kind of a grab, or at least just trying to catch NiP outside their comfort zone with it. Yeah, but I think a pick that could very easily backfire. We'll see some
aggression here about the bounty runes. It appears NiP will secure the top one, and ASUS.Polar will secure the bottom bounty for themselves. So, all right, let's introduce some rosters here. Radiant side, we've got ASUS.Polar. He'll be Mag in the off lane, playing the Night Stalker this go-around. Phobos in the mid on the Venomancer, and that'll be a safe lane try. Lil on the Dazzle with his Dazzleator ready to rock and roll. Illidan on his prized Slark, one of his signature heroes at this stage of the game. And FNG, the F-God himself, on the strange pick, the Kunkka. We'll see what the Admiral can get done.
Dire side, we got NiP, the Swedish fish, and on bottom, we got Jonas, who's going to be playing your bat, blocking up the wave quite a bit. He's going to be going into this try setup. Mid lane, it's going to be Limp playing his puck. Top lane, already looking to move on over. We got Seal Kid on the Vengeful Spirit, looking to harass back Mag. Early stun's going to fly out. Oh, plus the Chilling Touch. There's a lot of right-click between the two. And with the dagger, it does slow him down quite a bit. Even though he doesn't go down, he's got to use his salve early, so it's still a win for them. Handskin, the glove man, he's going to be playing your AA, and of course that leaves Era as their core PA.
How appropriate. The glove playing the character with the biggest fingers this side of the Mississippi. Good old Frosty. Jonas down bottom. Oh, initiated on with a poison touch, but he'll be okay. And Mag, he definitely has his work cut out for him here. Only 3 tangos left. Sealkit and Handskin lingering nearby and continuing to push him back, trying to keep him level 1 as long as possible. Same happening in the bottom lane, except Batrider already secures his level 2, now pushing back Lil as he does start to stack up that sticky, up to 3 stacks. And the nice thing for Batrider here is Jonas can retreat into the jungle pretty much at any point now and start getting that farm going. Night Stalker doesn't have that same luxury, at least not to the same level of awesomeness that the Batrider does.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And the nice curious thing here, oh, do they get the Torrent? They do on the bottom lane. Jonas is going to be forced to go into taking flight. And I gotta say, once FNG gets that X, and it was buffed recently to full time duration right at level 1, it's not going to be as easy to get away if you're a flying bat or if you're a puck. And I'm curious to see if that is what they're banking on here. Runes pop up, Invis is going to be picked up from FNG, and that leaves another grab for ASUS.Polar on the top rune as well, grabbing up the bounty.
Yep. Invisibility on the Kunkka. He'll go mid for now, chewing down that clarity. Does have just a level 1 Torrent right now. Still yet to ding level 2. Limp on the puck, a hero in his comfort zone. Kind of a signature hero. He'll be playing it mid. We've seen a lot of puck in the offlane, especially during Starlighter. That was the craze. I'm glad to see Limp sticking to his guns and doing what he knows here. DK Phobos having a pretty good time in the mid also. It's just a farm fest for now. Both of them farming evenly. And Phobos, oh, this mid lane Venomancer, man. It's just so annoying to play against with all these Plague Wards.
Something they were familiar going against quite a bit during Starladder and an NiP special, especially when 8 Mother was on the team. So
they know it all too well.
Ready. Yeah. So with that, they just are going to continue to find what they want. Fear is also known to play Venomancer mid lane from time to time, but as of recent hasn't really thrown into the rotation. But with that, he's able to pressure onto this tower, pressure on the Limp, not allow him to get the easy early CS game. And Phobos is going to be able to hold his own for quite a while. They didn't get anything out of the FNG Invis rune, unfortunately, but FNG is slowly getting together some XP. He needs the level so he can at least have the utility of the X. He's got it here, and it looks like they're going to go for their first potential gank towards the mid lane, which is already pinged out.
Yep, Dire side have it warded up quite well. They've got a ward in this bottom area to see rotations, and they've got the high ground to give some vision into that bottom rune on their side of the river. So they'll see rotations coming, especially from that bottom lane, and Puck will stay safe, at least for now. Up in the top lane, Era, he's farming up a Storm. Last hit leader right now, 27 and 11. Slark doing pretty comparable in the bottom lane, though Illidan not quite up to snuff, behind by about 5 CS right now. See a little skirmish break out around the top rune. Seal Kid and Mag going at it. Double damage is picked up by Mag, but he does get hit by the orb. Limp will whiff the Waning Rift, though it's only level 1. Now he gets turned around on. In comes the Torrent. There's your Panic Puck. Phase shift, nowhere to go. Tries to orb out. Almost makes it, but not quite there. It's Phobos with the poison that draws the first blood. And the Fairy Dragon falls.
Yeah, even into orb out would have been potentially pretty tricky with FNG right there having the X at the ready. So good converge coming out from Polar to be able to take advantage. The thing is with this new rune system, a lot of teams, when they want to make a fight happen, they know when the clock strikes 2, when it strikes 4, 6, 8, that's the time when you can look for some potential opportunities to open up on the other team. And I think that's something that Polar were looking for there, and they got the job done.
So Illidan, farming away in the safe lane, will go for that Midas build like I talked about. And he's has the luxury here of getting the naked Midas for the most part. We'll be able to rush it out. And getting up before the 5-minute mark is a victory, given that he wasn't involved in the first blood, no towers. This is a pretty damn good timing. And this space will allow him to pick up a very fast Shadow Blade. And that's time that he'll be able to spend in the jungle looking for solo pickoffs. Seal Kid, whoa, daddy, he's in deep, gets a ward down, but at what cost, as they say? Mag will come in, start laying into him. In comes FNG with a Torrent X combo, and Seal Kid destined to fall. Throws out one last stun before dying, and that will make it 2-0. As Seal Kid, did I say FNG backwards? Yep, FNG gets the kill on Seal Kid.
Man, you give all the props to that ward right there. They see Seal Kid moving over, and the second they see him going right towards the top lane, they know he's planning a ward with ward in inventory. So they just have Night Stalker quickly TP up. They converge, they find him, they take him out. And then meanwhile, they also get a nice takeout again. Mag in the jungle gets a hold of Jonas trying to jungle farm on Bat. This is just predictable play. When Bat's not in lane, he's got to be somewhere. And because it's nighttime, they're able to go on the prowl. Polar looking to bounce back strong after a very defeating game number 1.
Yeah, I mean, this is when Night Stalker can be hard to deal with. He's very speedy during that first night with just boots. We'll hold that thought, though, as Phobos in the mid lane, caught by a coil, breaks the tether, limp, jaunts forward to the orb and finds the kill. Now Mag getting aggressive on Seal Kid, pressing forward, a lot of HP still to go, quite a bit of mana as well. We'll have no reservations about diving this tower. As now Handskin coming in. Will throw out the Chilling Touch, looking for some auto attacks, but they just can't close the gap on Mag. Meanwhile, Batrider picked off again in the bottom lane. He will get a return kill on the Slark. It's a 1-for-1, but the Batrider really losing momentum and nowhere near a Blink Dagger despite being level 5.
Yeah, those are big takedowns on that Batrider. Back-to-back drops puts him way, way behind as far as quota and what they want to do. And Polar are onto it, man. They even have a ward that's walking out one of those camps, so they're not going to have access to the big primary bat stack that they would love to do. Interesting enough, FNG with his level 3 puts a second level into X, actually favoring building up the range just to make sure they can get the setups they want. It's very apparent Polar are going to be constantly aggressive this game with a setup like that, so look for the aggression to continue to build up here, at least without a doubt every nightfall. Polar are going to look to make kills happen.
Absolutely. Era in the safe lane for the Dire. He did not go a farm accelerator, at least not out of the gate. Quelling Blade, Aquila, and Power Treads. Yeah, it's oh boy. Anyway,
it's Merlini rubbing off on you.
So he's ready to fight if need be. I'm curious if he'll transition now into sort of a Battle Fury. I was going to say later Battle Fury. We're still very early on in this game, but could be an option for him here still. Illidan, oh, get a little aggressive down bottom, but will be pushed back by the Batrider. But yeah, Era could go for this build where you go early combative and then transition into the Battle Fury even a little bit later, like 15-20 minutes. It's a build that can work very nicely, let you tango with the Slark, and then sit back and farm in that quiet mid-game.
To tell you what, I'm not too sure in a game like this, if you're Era on this PA, where you look to take it from here. It feels like when you feel comfortable getting one item, you might be forgetting something else that could help you out. I mean, you got a Venomancer on the other team that could easily wither you down if you're trying to go all in with more damage and farm acceleration, so BKB might need to be considered, but they also have great minus armor, great physical damage, great setup.
Bottom.
Oh, they're making it go. Batrider goes down again, but here we go. Era looking to get involved for the first time, trying to get at least the kill onto Illidan, but it's not going to happen. They go forward. FNG's got a DD. He's trying to swat him. There's the crit. FNG's now the one in trouble. Self-torrent. Era sees it, sidesteps it, and now it's going to be a potential wash. Dagger's going to connect. He wants to blink strike. Second guesses it. Pulls back and away. No blood will be shed after they already take down the Batrider again. Still, struggling start here for NiP as far as offlane goes.
Yeah, with the Dazzle right there, seems like the smart play to not jump in. He knows there's a shallow grave ready and waiting, also a potential heal bomb. Chances of getting that kill and diving the tower, pretty slim. Era now with a Helm of Iron Will, thinking about a Dominator perhaps, and going even more combative, jumps onto Lil. We'll see if Lil can make it out. Does he have a TP? He does. Easy grave TP home. Meanwhile in the mid lane, Phobos caught inside of a lasso. Limp will stand his ground, and they get a nice pick there in the mid lane. Phobos will die to the Dire, and that'll make it 3-6 here as NiP get one more kill up on the board.
And normally by this time, if you got great farm in your bat, this is when you initially want to be debuting your Blink Lasso. But if you gotta do it the janky way with a coil, then so be it. As long as they're able to get that nice Lasso pick, they drop down Phobos, allow their puck to kind of push forward a bit further, and he'll have to go back onto jungle duty, where Polar still have that ward to watch things out. And nighttime is coming soon. They could look to rotate even further. FNG's toying with the idea of maybe going towards the top lane, but top lane is where trouble could strike. Mag sees the rotations come, and he already pulls back. Polar playing this one a bit more safe for now, at least while it's daylight.
Yeah, so far this Night Stalker pick seems like it's really worked out well. This is the time to try and gank Mag, though, if it's at all possible. No Lasso for another 30 seconds, so we can feel a little safe on that front. Ancient Apparition, not yet 6, but look at this build he's gone for here, Dakota. Cold Feet maxed out 3-1-1 at level 5. I feel like this build is a bit of a rarity. Usually you'll see Vortex or at least a second point in Chilling Touch maxed out before the Cold Feet getting this much priority.
It's different for a lot. It depends on the situation. I mean, recently people got to witness PPD on his AA play. Didn't even need to get Ice Vortex. It just depends if you got the setup. If you feel you have a comfortable setup, which, hey, they got Coil. They got plenty of stun. They got Lasso.
Yeah.
Cold Feet will be used. So level it up while you can. Well, behind that as well, you want to make sure you get a few extra levels into Chilling Touch. But hey, Ice Vortex is also a great spell. Amplified magic damage, which they don't have too much of, but the slow is very, very good. And it's got long range.
Yeah, and the scouting potential, all that good stuff. Still good for the Bat Rider, though. If he's stuck, as somebody stuck inside of the Lasso on top of fire, Puck's there, that 15% magic damage, you'll feel it. You'll feel it, especially with that Fairy Dragon nearby. But Puck, into the 4 figures now at least. 1,000 gold sitting in the bank, halfway to that Blink Dagger. As ASUS.Polar start to rotate towards the mid, Mag just sacking the off lane for now, finds his level 6, holding on to the point, probably thinking about a point in darkness, though nighttime couldn't be coming too soon, as it looks like ASUS.Polar are hungry for blood. Kunkka now finding his level 5, and that'll be a 3rd point. Next marks the spot.
10 seconds till that nighttime, actually, and FNG's already on the prowl, puts down the ward. It gets pinged out right there as Era sees what's going on. He's been using the Alpha Wolf to build up the extra bit of damage. Scouts out, maybe wants to make a go. Torrent connects onto Limp. Have Coil in their pocket. Can't find the opportunity. So Night will come down. We'll see if Polar, what they want to do from here. They're still waiting. FNG is not quite level 6 yet. The ship certainly helps. Even as a support Kunkka, just the fact the survivability of the Ghost Ship is just so good to have. So, and then if you actually connect with it as well, you have a huge impact on a team fight that most supports only dream of.
Yep. The rum. The Admiral's rum. Okay, it's nighttime. So far, ASUS.Polar staying rather quiet. Lil getting a little solo time in the bottom lane. Maybe it's hanging on to some gauntlets for now. There's already been an urn picked up by the Night Stalker. Illidan, where's he at? Just farming out the jungle for now. He will go into the Shadow Blade, Shadow Amulet in the inventory now after the Midas. Already picked up the Orb of Venom and completed his power treads. There will be a TP out from Kunkka as NiP smoke forward towards the Roche Pit. Sentry Ward comes down just in case there's somebody with an invisibility rune nearby.
Oh my god, is that ward is just out of range of that sentry. That ASUS.Polar ops ward up above is just a hair away from the sentry. They know they're in the Roche Pit doing this. ASUS.Polar are converging right now. This could be disaster for NiP.
This is Radiant Vision we're looking at. They know exactly what's going on. Dazzle Weave connects with all 3 heroes. NiP in a lot of trouble. Hands getting caught by the Torrent. He'll be the first one to come down, but now in comes Limp. Coil on 3 heroes. Decent setup. Do they have anything to follow it up? In comes Limp. Orb doesn't connect on any, but silence on 2 as Era comes in with the Phantom Strike, and PA just blown up. Down goes Seal Kid as well. It's a 3-0. ASUS.Polar take a very convincing team fight. Now they will secure Roche for themselves. How unfortunate for NiP. That ward setting the whole thing up. If that sentry was placed just a little more to the north, that would have been a completely different exchange.
Yeah, that ward is seriously laughing at the radius, just right on the outside. And with that, you catch NiP out of position. But Bat Rider, one of the best to contest, gets Illidan the high ground. Grave is going to be there. He's forced to pounce out and go away. But because of these low death timers, NiP's already get back into action. Roche is very low. They get the X onto Limp, bring him right back. He's going to get silenced. Limp will go down.
But they got Illidan
for Mag, and they'll go right back to Roche, or will they?
Roche is still alive. Darkness used just to try and limit vision here. This is what Dire can see right now. Absolutely nothing, but you look at Radiant Vision, they've got full eyes on NiP right now. Still feeling very safe on their side of the Roche pit. Unfortunate for Illidan, he used his Shadow Dance early and got chased down. Ven scouted him out with the Roar, and they were able to bring him down. Roche still alive with a decent amount of hit points. Neither side going to be able to just burst him down in a matter of seconds. I see ASUS.Polar, aside from the ward vision advantage, having Plague Wards very helpful in this kind of a scenario, though. Bat Rider, no lasso for another 35. I think ASUS.Polar can claim this Roche if they want to take a little bit of a risk here and just move on in.
It's risky, though. You got that Bat Rider on the other team, and you know now he has the Blink Dagger. You might not need Lasso, even, to just take it. A simple Flame Break, swoop on through, and you quickly got Aegis, and you get the hell out of there. All that effort was for nothing. So ASUS.Polar need to make absolute sure that they are going to be comfortable in taking this. But look at NiP. They have a very nice flank attempt coming in with the smoke. Oh, man, they're going to go all the way. The wraparound play right here. Can they get there in time, though, before the Roche goes down? We'll have to see.
So we just saw Dire Vision. This is Radiant Vision now. Oh, they caught wind of him over here. There's a Plague Ward down. They see it, but now the fight breaks out in the Roche pit. Illidan goes down first. ASUS.Polar on the back foot. Phobos brought down as well. Now the boat comes flying through, but it's too little too late. Mag inside of the Roche pit will get isolated. Not going to be able to run away. FNG left behind, and now he's brought down. Dazzle, the lone survivor, as he wasn't even there. Triple kill for Era as they take a 4-0 outside of the Roche pit. Oh my gosh, it's NiP that strike back, and now all of a sudden they've broken this game wide open.
Beautifully set up, all with that just smoke flank play. They knew ASUS.Polar wanted to stay in the area and just finish what they started because of the constant threat. Being in the dark, NiP just knew that they had the control, and with that control, they take full advantage of it. ASUS.Polar just crumble. They lose out on that Roche. They lose out on all that time invested on just trying to get the Roche, not farming anywhere else. And it's NiP who just benefit the most from it. Props to them now. ASUS.Polar have the advantage 10-8 as far as kills, but with that, NiP advanced beautifully into the mid game. And what was once a poor and struggling Bat Rider, he has his Blink Dagger now, and I think he already has some early components towards his Force Staff.
Yep, he certainly does. Has the Staff of Wizardry, so about halfway there as he uses an invisibility rune. And the team starts to converge into the top lane. Maybe just looking for a gank attempt here. ASUS.Polar are all clumped up, ready to defend if a push comes that tower's way. Illidan so far hasn't really been able to do too much with this Shadow Blade, having a much better game this go around than he did in the last 3-3-1 here at the 17-minute mark, but most of those kills came pre-Shadow Blade, or they've come down to trades. Bat Rider, Firefly onto the high ground, looking for Lil. Won't find the initiation angle here, but maybe FNG will be his target of choice. Nope, a defensive blink, and he goes back to safety. Now Darkness popped by the Night Stalker. He'll move into an Aghanim Scepter, has the point booster picked up, and we'll see what the play is here from ASUS.Polar. Maybe they'll smoke up, thinking about something aggressive here, Dakota.
Had that been anyone else but the Kunkka, Jonas might even consider making the jump on the FNG, but because it's him, he might have been able to get the X off first, and then ultimately the pull away would have been all for nothing. You could end up bringing yourself back into the enemy arms, and the trade could be a 1-for-1 support for Bat Rider, which is not good for them. And NiP go back to smoke plays here. The smoke is popped. Illidan's nearby. They go to the high ground instead, and Illidan on the low ground is going to be able to walk away, at least for now. Still NiP on the chase. Dagger's going to be there. Coil catches nicely on... Oh, Lil! Self-Shallow Grid's going to save him. TP to get on out. Phobos steps in. Big Venomous ultimate. Going to be flying on out. And now with that, begin to wither away. Limp's going to drop first there. And quickly, Jonas could be in trouble. Era's going to be next to fall. Double kill for Phobos. Big fight for Polar to come right back. AA barely makes it out alive. He was the last survivor. A 4-for-1. Back the other way since the Roche pit. Beautifully done from Polar.
Yeah, disastrous from the NiP perspective. It was all about that Veno ulti. A very chaotic fight in general. A lot of those little micro skirmishes. But one thing that hit everyone was that Ags upgraded level 2 Poison Nova. And NiP, just the entire team evaporated in terms of HP. And in the words of this team themselves, they've told me the best way to deal with a Veno who has an Ags this early is just don't get hit by the ultimate. In a team fight like that, it is near impossible to achieve that goal. Now Veno will just move right into a Veil of Discord. Already the Helm of Iron Will picked up, and this is going to be more and more difficult to deal with. NiP might want to consider a pipe this game, but I don't think they'll be able to get it. Not really a great pipe carrier, and everyone who does have any kind of gold to throw around will be needing to get damage-dealing items. This is rough. Now, Era initiated on by Illidan up in the top lane. Illidan will be forced back as there are TPs in. Limp hoping to catch him with the silence before he can ult, but not going to be there straight away. Instead, throws out a Dream Coil. Illidan breaks the tether, cleanses it off with the Dark Pact, and he will make it out after forcing a reaction from all 5 heroes of NiP.
Wow. Slark, what a hero. And with that, quickly, a couple of TPs. The coil's going to be expended, and they can't even take down the little Illidan Slark. So he's able to walk away scot-free, and they could look to turn on their own defense if they want to protect this tier 1. And NiP need to make the best of the situation after already rotating and committing everyone towards this top lane. And yeah, you're right. They got to do something about this pesky Venomancer. I mean, they have an engaging team fight where they're looking to go hard in the paint. But Venomancer, man, you're going to have something to deal with all that poison. You already have some flimsy heroes on your side. He's, like you said, a pipe. It's got to be of the utmost importance, but really, are they going to be able to bring together the farm and someone to get that item online? These are questions, Zyori. We need answers.
Yeah, and they're tricky questions to answer right now from the NiP perspective. Falling further and further behind here is Illidan finds Seal Kid. This is the style of play that he loves. Find those squishy supports in the jungle, grab a pick, and then head back to safety. Doesn't even need to use the Shadow Dance for kills like that. And now NiP feeling very scared, even in their own jungle. Jonas needs to be careful here, has the Blink Dagger. That'll keep him safe for now. But interrupting his farm and just making his life more difficult in general as Slark pulls further into the lead. That Hand of Midas continuing to pay some dividends. Now with an Ultimate Orb, probably a Scotty on the horizon for good old Illidan.
Is it just me, or is the Yasha grab a bit interesting here on your PA? Is this going to be a potential Manta pickup? Is that to split off maybe the silence from your Night Stalker? The X?
Possibly. I think
a bit interesting.
More likely to be an SNY, only because it's Era, and I know how much he cares for that item. One of his absolute favorites on pretty much any carry hero. And he's gone for this kind of early skirmish build. Helm of the Dominator, Aquila, SNY fits into that perfectly. I think feeling like he really needs to fight sooner rather than later and investing into a farming tool. Illidan's just going to continue moving around, controlling the map, picking off his support. So here, he needs to fight fire with fire, and we'll see how it works for him.
I think he needs to step off first after that big fight bottom.
BKB.
Yeah, he's got to get a BKB just for the Venomancer. He needs to survive if he wants to be able to fight with something like a Sage and Yasha. I mean, don't get me wrong, Zyori. So,
well, we'll see.
Get a bit of damage with
it's going to be something. It'll be a Manta or an SNY. We'll see which one he upgrades it to. But the BKB, I think, a worthy pit stop regardless of how he chooses to upgrade it.
Oh, Mag. Hey, everyone. How's it going? By the way, I'm on the other team, and I am in your zone. And this is what happens. He gets started down immediately, but Illidan gets a nice follow-up kill, but he could lose his own life here. Coil's going to be snapped. He's trying to get away with Shadow Dance, and a bit too bloodthirsty there, Polar. You may be strong and confident, but you have walked into the open arms of NiP.
That is 2 cores for an ancient apparition, my friend. Trades like that are what will get NiP back into this game. Another 2,000 net worth swing going in the Dyer's favor. Still a pretty big deficit to climb, but a good way to start doing it. Now Jonas initiated on in the mid lane. Phobos just unleashing the poison. Nowhere for Jonas to go. He'll stand his ground. He'll flame break him away and just accepts the ultimate death from the poisonous Veno. Even a Veil of Discord on top of that. Did you see how fast that Bat Rider fell? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this is something where you gotta really look to build your fights around this Phobos Venomancer. It luckily has a very long cooldown. Maybe if you can look to get him to expend it on something like that and then follow it up with some tower takedowns where he will not have it at his leisure. But it's something they definitely need to consider. I mean, you know, Era is as he's going down this BKB with a Veil and Agnums. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of life depleting pretty damn fast.
Yeah. Now, the big issue with the BKB against Veno is, of course, it was buffed a few patches ago. It no longer cleanses it, so it will stop the damage, but the duration lasts a while, and it will certainly outlast your BKB. It's 14 seconds right now, 15 at level 2 with the upgraded Ags, and will eventually be 16. So, first couple of BKBs, Era will feel pretty strong, but once it gets down to that 5 second mark, things not going to be feeling so great for this Phantom Assassin. Though, there it is, BKB completed, Era's farm continuing to impress after that successful skirmish they took in the Dire Jungle just a few minutes ago. Roche coming up in about a minute and a half here, Dakota.
Yeah, at least without having to take the damage, he can continue to fight and just use the life leech alone to keep him alive. It's kind of, you know, hopefully by then get the job done, and he'll have enough life to just withstand whatever residual or leftover Venomancer ult is there when his BKB does expire. But if he can't get the job done within that golden window of his BKB, that's when things can get pretty tough. But as you said, Roche could be coming up momentarily. NiP are already looking to set the stage and position. Hopefully, for them at least this time, the ward situation won't be as close and finicky. Polar, they're hoping that they will also have their eyes in the skies to kind of make sure they have constant tabs on what the hell NiP is doing. And conveniently for NiP, they might be able to get this Roche during daylight, but they also get the hop onto Phobos, who's going to get his ult off. Jonas could go down just from that alone. FNG gets a nice ship off. Phobos is able to make it away. A double TP now, and FNG will be the trade. But they are able to take down the Bat Rider because of all that poison and dot. Now they're going to make the go on Lil. Lil going to be silenced. Can he get the Grave off? He can. Grave TP, not going to be there. With the Yules now quickly coming in from Limp, it's just going to be a slow and painful death for him, making it a 2-for-1 tray when it's all said and done.
Yep, Bat Rider tried to TP home, but just couldn't do it fast enough. The DOT's doing huge damage to him. Now in the top lane, Limp will TP in to try and push back Illidan, force the orb defensively, and will head back to safety. The Venomancer quite tanky at this stage of the game as well. That's one of the great things about this build. Gives him huge armor, 12 plus 13 with all the stats. And even just having the Aghanim Scepter, all that HP, the additional strength you get, not an easy target for the PA to just try and chop down. They will get the tier 1 tower in the bottom lane, and they will defend the tier 2 in the top, though it looks like it will fall in the deny range as Cardi, the siege creep, hits it one last time. That will take it 1-3, well, now 1-4 in total tower count as Era denies that top tier 2.
Illidan, man, doing Illidan things, thinking that maybe he can get the pounce on the Era, but Era's already pulled back, and he's going to have to do the same. So with that, they're just looking to hold out. ASUS would love to maybe go for the Roche themselves, but would love to have that Nightfall just to be safe. And for now, they'll pressure the lanes, keep them back, NiP against the walls, so that way they have the room, the wiggle room to kind of work with this Roche quite a bit. AA Blast already fly out to bottom lane here. Looks like to get a nice setup on your Night Stalker, but Limp is trying to catch up. He gets the blink forward coil. Well, there's the blink forward, there's the coil, and now they got the silence.
Does Limp actually have the damage?
Is he gonna snap? Is he gonna snap? Oh, there's gonna be the Yules. They need extra help, but it might be too late. Lil's there.
Wow, that was so close. The Ice Blast actually expired right as Limp was about to take him into shatter range. That's really unfortunate.
It was a level 2 Ice Blast as well. I figured it was only level 1, but yeah, even that, not enough. Too much durability, it looks like, on your Night Stalker, and he's gonna be able to live. Need a little bit more than just your puck. Need a +1.
Phobos just about to have his BKB. RSG blows. Gonna have it delivered here momentarily. Darkness utilized. Now this is Ag's upgraded. Look at this vision from Mag. He is just a moving ward right now. And vision from the Dire not feeling so hot. The range of these poor little wards. Oh, it's so pitiful. They will move into the Dire jungle. Illidan leading the charge with his Shadow Blade on. Won't be able to find that first kills. It is TP out. Limp. Oh, he walks right into it. Goes up to the high ground. We'll go into phase shift and should be able to blink away. No, Illidan times it perfectly. Now the Yule Scepter sets up for Era to come in. Ice Blast will connect onto Slark. He's already used the Shadow Dance, but he is hasted up. They can't close the gap. He'll make it out. Meanwhile, Mag playing a little ring around the Rosie off to the side. No blood exchanged yet. Although the puck does get scattered out off in the tree line. Blink Dagger will keep him safe and he'll orb back to safety. Now Handskin swapped back from Seal Kid. Keeps him alive from Illidan. Now Illidan stuck inside of the lasso, but they pull him into the boat. Connects on 3. In comes Phobos with a follow-up ulti. Coil connects on quite a few ASUS.Polar heroes, but NiP just taking too much damage. Era uses the BKB, but it'll just be his tool to retreat. It's a 3-for-0. Triple kill for Phobos, and Era and Limp both crippled, making an ultra kill. Oh my gosh, this Venomancer destroying the ninjas in pajamas right here, Dakota.
Yeah, that is just the definition of a plague right through NiP. There is nothing they can do about it. Just beautiful conversion from ASUS. Nighttime strikes, they got Agnums. Somehow, some way, a fight develops in their favor as they have everyone online, ults ready to go, and with everyone clumped up on NiP, forced to just help save the high ground, they lose it all. Just a dramatic Poison Nova seals the deal for them. They're going to get the easy racks. Desperate now, NiP want to get some sort of exchange on the way out. They get hold of Illidan with the Yule stun combo right there. Limp now trying to at least walk away. Ult's going to connect. Let's hit Illidan and Mag. Swap back. Helps Limp for now. And it looks like at least Polar could make their way out without losing anyone. Oh, that'd be very unfortunate for NiP. The stun's going to be there. Phobos still slowly but surely is going to be brought down. Arrow makes the committed jump on forward. It's a 1-for-1 trade. They get the lasso, but he gets instantly hexed. There's the Kunkka right there. The reason alone, boat gonna fly. Handskin just gets punched in the face with a boat, and he will go down. And now Era's gonna go down. ASUS.Polar are about to really take control of this game. It could be even GG's.
Yeah,
this is them coming back from already losing the Rex, and they're losing again. This is without Poison Nova. Four down once more.
There it is, the GG well played. The problem there is ASUS.Polar just have all these short cooldowns. The Kunkka boat, 50 seconds, they were ready to reinitiate. Dazzle, he's got another weave. He's got Shallow Graves coming out his ass. He's just feeling good left and right. NiP were just not ready for that fight. And of course, when you buy back, you're hoping to get something out of it, find a recovery kill, make it worth your while, but that is not the way to go about it. And now we've got a series on our hands. It's a slugfest between ASUS.Polar and NiP, the winner. Both teams now one game away. The winner hoping to move forward to the finals to face Empire, the raid boss waiting in a best-of-5. Who's going to take it to Coda? Well, we're going to have to be patient to find out because this series seems pretty damn even.
It does. Domination from one side for NiP, now domination from Polar. Intriguing drafts along the way. I really like the support Kunkka, as we don't have a Vengeful Spirit at our leisure as they've already taken it, but hey, that X certainly helped out. You couldn't really see the pickoff plays there from Bat. We know he had a slow start, but never really saw any sort of lasso picks. I mean, maybe it's credit to FNG, just with him being nearby, you can't get the easy pick there. The boat certainly helped out. Yeah. Night Stalker got a great Agnums, great vision. Illidan got his comfort hero and did what he had to do. Formidable play from them, from both sides. I'm looking forward to game number 3.
Yeah, myself included. So again, folks, we're going to have a short break, then coming on back, the conclusion of this lower bracket finals, and then we've got a whole nother best-of-5 coming up right after that. Stick around, a lot more Dota 2 coming up next.